9 million children die every year before they reach the age of 5. Okay, picture an Asian tsunami of the sort we saw in 2004 that killed 250,000 people. One of those every 10 days, killing children only under 5. That means before I can get to the end of this sentence, some few children, very likely, will have died in terror and agony. Think of the parents of these children. Think of the fact that most of these men and women believe in God and are praying at this moment for their children to be spared. And their prayers will not be answered. Any God who would allow children by the millions to suffer and die in this way, and their parents to grieve in this way, either can do nothing to help them or doesn't care to. He is therefore either impotent or evil. Okay. One thing should be crystal clear to you. This vision of life has absolutely nothing to do with moral accountability. Okay. We're told that God is loving and kind and just and intrinsically good. But when someone like myself points out the rather obvious and compelling evidence that God is cruel and unjust because he visits suffering on innocent people of a scope and scale that would embarrass the most ambitious psychopath. Okay. We're told that God is mysterious. Okay. Who can understand God's will? Okay. And yet this is precisely, this merely human understanding of God's will is precisely what believers use to establish his goodness in the first place. Okay. This is how you play tennis without the net. Okay. And I want to suggest to you that it is not only tiresome when otherwise intelligent people speak this way, it is morally reprehensible. This kind of faith is really the perfection of narcissism. I mean, God loves me, don't you know? He cured me of my eczema. Okay. Given all that this God of yours does not accomplish in the lives of others, given the misery that's being imposed on some helpless child at this instant, this kind of faith is obscene. Okay, to think in this way is to fail to reason honestly or to care sufficiently about the suffering of other human beings. But it is psychopathic because this is a total detachment from the well-being of human beings. This so easily rationalizes the slaughter of children. Now, of course, there's a way of not taking these questions to heart.
Hi there, Professor Quinn here, giving you 6 absolute gems to have in your armory to wipe the floor in any discussion or argument you are ever likely to have with an atheist. Starting with 1. Avoid making claims using reason, science, facts, or logic, as you are wandering into the atheist's domain of knowledge, and they will most probably use your thinking against you. If this happens, use point 2. Move the topic of conversation onto something else. Nothing to do with what you are talking about. This makes rational discourse very difficult to achieve and confuses the atheist, so do so regularly to seem more intelligent. 3. Make plenty of claims which can't be falsified using facts or reason. We all know anything which can't be falsified must, by its own virtues, be gospel truth. 4. Use circular arguments as often as is feasible. Nothing holds water better than a shape with no holes. This also applies to the shape of your argument. Make sure it's watertight. 5. If you really are getting nowhere, accuse the atheist of being arrogant, be sure to get upset, and victimize yourself as much as you can. And if all that doesn't work, we play our strongest card. 6. Hitler was an atheist, and he was an evil prick. So how could atheism be true? And look where being an atheist will get you. And we don't need to worry about small facts, like Hitler made numerous references to God in Mein Kampf. Every Nazi soldier had the phrase God with us on their belt. 2/3 of all Nazis, including their leaders, were active Catholics, and the Pope and the Catholic Church were allied with fascism at this time. This is a solid, irrefutable case. You lose, atheist. You lose.
All human beings with our joint genealogy display shared behavior. We jointly display precise facial expression to specific stimuli not because we choose to, but because we are all compelled to. We are programmed to use language, to understand our environment, to advance. All life is internally governed to survive, to avoid hunger, to avoid death, to procreate, not through our choosing but through the advisement of our collective design. We cannot escape our doctrine. A bird does not choose to migrate. A dog does not choose to retrieve a stick. We are nothing more than animals. Our intelligence does not elevate us above this tenet but only serves to demonstrate our status within it. We do not choose to create weapons, to appreciate music, to be wary of difference, to seek understanding, to attain happiness, or to be aroused by beauty. They are innate within us. We are programmed to behave in the way we do. It is not a choice, it is merely the translation of our design. I can be nothing more than the genetics I inherited or the product of my experience. That wonderful discussion, nature versus nurture, excludes me. I am no more in control of my genetic makeup as I am of the world to which I have been nurtured. I simply respond as Dominic Shillingford responds. My genetic code is indelibly intertwined with my experiences, how I was brought up by my parents, entertained by the media, treated by my siblings, taught by my schools, interacted with my friends, and enveloped within my society. The language and accent I speak with, my view of the world and my place within it, my morality, my happiness, my intelligence, my confidence, are all irrefutably fused with everything that exists outside of my own psyche. The genetics that prescribe the color of my eyes also prescribes the exact way I will react and respond to every moment of my existence. It is this accumulation of responses to my environment that formulates the person I am and the personality I am identified by.
You're done keeping me on this island. You're not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to. Yes, we are. I'm not supposed to go home. What am I supposed to do? Well, I think I remember. What was it that you said on the way out to the hatch? That crashing here was our destiny.
You know, Jack. You know that you're here for a reason. You know it. And if you leave this place, that knowledge is going to eat you alive from the inside out. Until you decide to come back. Don't you look at me like that. Don't you? I'm trying to help you. You can't help me!
You have to go back, kid. We have to go back! You're gonna have to lie. Excuse me? It's the only way to protect you. It's an island, John. No one needs to protect it. It's not an island. It's a place where miracles happen. There's no such thing as miracles.
I think we did the right thing, Jack. I think it wants us to come back.
Hurley.
It's gonna do everything it can.
We're never going back.
Never say never, dude.
Because I want it to crash. I don't care about anybody else on board. Every little bump we hit or turbulence in it, I actually close my eyes and I pray that I can get back.
Lie to them, Jack. If you do it half as well as you lie to yourself, they'll believe you.
It's a miracle. He moved the island.
No, he didn't.
Why do you find it so hard to believe?
Why do you find it so easy?
It's never been easy.